Hey y'all, welcome to episode 7 of How to Build a Rockery with Johnny K. If you hear some background noise, I do live across from a university field where the men's leagues has their first soccer practice, so there might be some noise in the background. And it's also very windy today, as you can probably see by some of these plants. But today we're actually going to get some plants in the ground in the new rockery. I showed you kind of how I'm going to set them up. So I'm going to continue to set them all out again because it's the next weekend right now. And so I can begin planting. Hopefully I'll get some shots of actually how I plant each spot. So the new side with all the crevices and the driftwood. We'll update over here. It is mid-August and everything's looking healthy. No complaints. There are some grasses starting up some little weeds here and there sprouting up. So I should probably get out here and try and do some weeding. We had a drought all summer and then we just had some rain recently. So there's a lot of seeds that have sprouted. Yeah, so gonna continue on hopefully and get a lot of this planted today on this side. So we can start getting some growth in, can start getting naturalized. This clay that's probably left over class 5 from the place I got the rocks is rock solid. So what I'm going to do, which I'll show you, is I'm going to move some of this clay away, dig a hole down, cut a hole in the liner so a tap root can set a root down, and then fill it with well-draining soil. So yeah, what I'll try not to do is either make too big of a dip in this clay because it will funnel the water there, or make a kind of a ridge around the roots so none of the water gets to the roots. So show you that. Lots of plants to go. All right, I think I got the majority of the larger opunchas placed. Want to get those in first and the shrubs in first, just because they're a little harder to work around and spread faster. So I got to think about spacing. I also I live next to a trap house or drug house, so there's a lot of crackheads walking around and sitting on my stuff and littering. So I am putting more spiky cacti with spines up front near the bigger rocks, so hopefully they fall over that and don't sit there. Last thing I need is more trash. Yeah, so, but what I did here is I staggered both pad color and flower color the best I could. This Opuntia facantha here has really fuchsia, bright fuchsia. This one here, pale yellow. This one here has a peach flower. This one here, I think it's chocolate princess, has a more fuchsia flower but dark pads. Silver mound artemisia. Opuntia rudolens has fuchsia but long pads. That's either peach or orange or a lighter color, and then another dark pad. I think that's the L. Parker. Right over there actually. It's Mandarin Sunset. Behind it is a blue padded Opuntia. I forget its name, but actually let's just go look at it. But it has blue pads and is not for this zone, but I'm going to give it a try. Let's see what we got here. Blue Gumby, soft pink, behind a Mandarin Sunrise. Behind a peach chiffon. So there's going to be a lot of pastels and a lot of bright ones. This here is dwarf Japanese garden juniper on that side. I showed you how I used it on the other side in a different video. That's Juniperus procumbens. This here is Juniperus horizontalis, Prince of Wales. I think it's going to look really nice here. One thing to think about is up top you want the shorter plants. Up top in front, I should say, this area. In the back here is better for taller plants. And then on the hill here, you can do either. I prefer a taller plant in some place like this because it's going to grow up and kind of be even and continue the mound. So that's something to think about. So you can see here, this guy, that facantha is going to grow pretty big. I didn't really like these round boulders here. They look almost a little too stacked to me, a little too unnatural. I mean, they fit well together, but that one's just so round. So that's why I'm putting this Juniperus procumbens here, because it's just going to completely cover that almost. And then it'll look pretty cool. Here's another one with a chocolate pad and another of the blue gummy. Yeah, so you can see here, I told you about that cholla right here, so that's going to grow there. I just set that pad of that Mossier that hit off in the hailstorm right there. Hopefully it should root just fine. This is a Yucca Harmoniae, and that's the same one as I got over here. Real beauty. I actually got taller than they claim it gets, but I think it's going to be really nice in the back here. So another one with a darker pad here, and then a Nebraska orange there, which I'm pretty excited about. So it should be a nice mix of colors and pad colors and flower colors. So I'm going to get to planting some of these, and then I can continue on with the smaller opunchas and some non-opunchas. All right, let's plant some cacti. As you saw earlier in the video, I made a mix to help plant. And be careful with these opunchas. They have a ton of glochids. I'm wearing gloves, but try not to touch them even with gloves, otherwise they'll get all over. Find a place for that one later. All right. So as you can see, a lot of clays here. A lot of clay. Now you can see it moving here. It's grabbing the liner, the garden fabric. So I want to punch a hole in that, just so this can send down a tap root. And actually, I got to move a little more of this dirt. Let's see, or clay, I should say. All right, that's looking like a decent hole for that cactus. So I'm going to take my Hori Hori. That's my brand, Old Soul Young Spirit. Real nice Hori Hori. And there's nothing scientific about this. You're just going to puncture some holes. You can see the soil I had underneath now, and there's the landscape fabric. So that's why I really like Hori Horis. I can do a lot of stuff. All right. So this is, I planted this in a really small one, so I'm gonna need to add some soil there. And that mix I made is right next to me. Not sure what all y'all can see here. So I hate the look of perlite with that bright white, but it will be covered up, don't worry. So it won't be covered up if I do that though. All right. Where did my... Oh, here it is. All right, tongs, or these are I do aquariums too, so these are used for that. But you want something so you can grab onto the pad. Okay. So just like any other plant, nice root structure, you want to flare these out so they can start spreading. And a lot of these smaller roots on opunchas are going to die during the winter time if they're too moist. But they'll send out a tap root deeper down if you got good drainage. So you just want to gauge. Obviously, I'm going to need a little more. I don't want it that low. I want it probably like that. So I'm going to add some more soil there. So there's a good amount of, not a good amount, there's some gypsum in here because these are cacti, and cacti don't grow in a deciduous forest usually where there's a lot of litter to decompose. So they're more basic. All right, I'm not going to make a joke about basic, but yeah, so there's not going to be as much decaying material, and so the soil they're used to won't be that acidic normally as if you were to be planting a plant that originated from a prairie or a forest. All right, that's looking about good. Yeah, I think that looks good, huh? Yeah, not much science to this. Now, there's a lot of science, but I guess, but it's just once you do it once, you don't need to think about it too much anymore. It's just get it done. And that's it. So I'll come back and I'll come back and I'll put river rock and river pebble kind of like the other side to kind of blend this all in and help prevent weeds even a little more. But yeah, looking pretty good. I think it's gonna be nice. It's gonna start falling over here in the winter, growing up over this rock. Perfect spot for that one, huh? All right, just want to give an update of where I left off on the planting. Kind of washed out lighting right now since it's early in the morning. But this is north-facing garden, so you can see here I have a Hasta on the north side. This is Cameo, real pretty Hasta. Stays healthy. Brightens up a little dark spot. And I'll update you with all the plants and stuff once I actually get it done.